he saw the people moving on the streets, traffic, he actually became puzzled and wondered how will he saw, what he saw actually, because Prabhupada saw through the eyes of Shastra and his transcendental vision. He saw the modes of passion and ignorance. That's what he saw. But these people have no goodness. There is no goodness here. People are running. They are influenced by passion and ignorance. And how will they hear your message? How will they hear? So Prabhupada wrote 2 songs. We'll be attempting to sing the first one here. So we'll be attempting to sing one of these songs. It is entitled Krishna Tava Punyaha VIHE, Prayers unto the Lotus Feet of Krishna. You will note that in the middle there is a verse which is a little different from the others. It's actually a quote from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto. So we'll be stopping at that point and just singing the verse, and then we'll resume the bhajan. I emphatically say to you, O brothers, you will obtain your good fortune from the Supreme Lord Krishna only when Srimati Radharani becomes pleased with you. This is a theme in Prabhupada's life. When he was a child, any sadhu who would come, his father would ask them, please bless my son. And what was the blessing? That Radharani may be pleased with him. So Radharani, we know, is the internal potency of the Lord. Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, the son of Mother Shakti, is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. He is that great saintly spiritual master who bestows intense devotion to Krishna at different places throughout the world. So here Prabhupada is giving the credit for the preaching around the world to his own spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He always said that, my spiritual master is preaching, I'm assisting him. By his strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world. So this is Prabhupada in 65. He is just arriving in America. And you see the conviction, the faith. That was his power, his Guru Nishtha. The holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread. Why? Because my Guru had a strong desire. In all the cities, towns and villages on the earth, from all the oceans, seas, rivers and streams, everyone will chant the holy name of Krishna. As the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all directions, a flood of transcendental ecstasy will certainly cover the land. When all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, the Vaishnava's desire is then fulfilled. Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. So that was the second strength of Srila Prabhupada. First strength was
Guru Nishtha.
Guru Nishtha. Now his second strength was his humility. Never thinking himself capable. I am not worthy or fit. I am very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, O Lord, now I am begging for your mercy, so that I may become worthy. For you are the wisest and most experienced of all. If you bestow your power, by serving the spiritual master, one attains the absolute truth. One's life becomes successful. If that service is obtained, then one becomes happy and gets your association due to good fortune. So the association, two things, we know. Guru and Krishna. Guru Krishna Prasade 5. By the mercy of Krishna, one gets Guru. By the mercy of the Guru, one gets Krishna. If that service is obtained, then one becomes happy and gets your association due to good fortune. My dear Lord, all Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant, Narada Muni, kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? So again, here it is that the first priority in the life of a disciple is to serve the spiritual master. So Prabhupada is remembering the order that he has received. O Lord Krishna, you are my eternal companion. Forgetting you, I have suffered the kicks of Maya, birth after birth. If today the chance to meet you occurs again, then I will surely be able to rejoin you. My dear friend, in your company, I will experience great joy once again. In the early morning, I will wander about the cowherd pastures and fields, running and frolicking. In the many forests of Raj, I will roll on the ground in spiritual ecstasy, or will that day be mine? So this is an expression here which, when we read the poetries and writings of the Goswamis, we understand that this is actually spoken from the platform of somebody who is in the stage of perfection. This is called Siddhi Lalasa. This kind of prayer is called Siddhi Lalasa, aspiring, longing for perfection. So Prabhupada is here remembering the spiritual world. He is remembering being with Krishna. He is aspiring to be with Krishna in the spiritual world. Today that remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way. Because I have a great longing, I call to you. I am your eternal servant, and therefore I desire your association so much. O Lord Krishna, except for you, there is no other means of success. When Prabhupada had his heart attacks right there on the boat, the sea was rough, and Prabhupada had 2 heart attacks. Krishna appeared to him, and so Prabhupada said, the remembrance of Krishna has come to him very nicely. So we have no doubt that Srila Prabhupada is an empowered, self-realized person, directly, empowered by Krishna, directed by Krishna in all what he did, in all the preaching, etc. Today we were hearing, I don't know if some of you were in the temple in the morning, Prabhupada disciples were remembering Prabhupada, and one of them, I think it was Kundadat Prabhu, he was saying how Prabhupada, someone had come to interview Srila Prabhupada, and it was quite a skeptical person, a lady. She had come to interview Prabhupada. And she asked Prabhupada, how do you know what to write in your books? How did you know what to write? And Prabhupada answered, Krishna tells me. So then a disciple interfered a little bit and tried to explain. Well, Prabhupada means that, everything is written in the Shastra. And also the Paramatma in the heart gives intelligence so that we can understand things. And Prabhupada just cut that person and said, no, he tells me. So the Paramatma and getting remembrance, forgetfulness for the Paramatma, this is for the conditioned souls. But Prabhupada is not a conditioned soul. A kind of person like him, we can see by his influence or what he has achieved in this world, that he is not a common person. So Prabhupada was directly in touch with Krishna. And whatever he said, whatever he taught, that was directly dictated by Krishna. So let us sing this song. Here we'll try our best. Where is Mana Shiksha Prabhu? I saw you behind the pillar. Would you play Hridanga? Thank you. Okay, so let's try to sing this song. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Krishna tava punya have bhai. Krishna tava punya have bhai. Ei punya koribe jabe, Radha Rani khushi hobe. Ei punya koribe jabe, Radha Rani khushi hobe. Dhruvati bhai kumathai. Dhruvati bhai kumathai. Krishna tava punya have bhai. Krishna tava punya have bhai. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Sachi Shuta Priyati. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Sachi Shuta Priyati. Krishna Sevai Jara Surana. Krishna Sevai Jara Surana. Sei se Mohanta Guru Jagat se Mate Guru. Krishna Bhakti Devi Thai. Krishna Bhakti Devi Thai. Krishna Tava Punya Have Bhai. Krishna Tava Punya Have Bhai. Para Icha Bhava Pachate Te Tham Tham. Vayate Gaurangira. Vayate Gaurangira. Prithivite Nagaradi Asamudra Naganadi. Sakale Loi Krishna. Sakale Loi Krishna. Krishna Tava Punya Have Bhai. Krishna Tava Punya Have Bhai. Tahare Ananda Hai Tabe Hai Digvijay. Chaitanya Kripa Kisha. Maya Dushta Jata Mukti Jagate Ka Bhai Sukhi. Vaishnava Icha Purana. ডাকিতেছি অনুরূপা আজি আমি সবার করিয়া কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে তোমার শক্তি পেরে গুরু সেবায় ভক্ত মিলে জীবন থাকে সেই সে সেবা করে তাহারে যে সুখী হবে সবাসঙ্গ ভঞ্জাতে কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে পুণ্য করিবে যাবে রাধা রানী খুশি হবে
করিবে যাবে রাধা রানী খুশি হবে
পুণ্য করিবে যাবে রাধা রানী খুশি হবে
করিবে যাবে রাধা রানী খুশি হবে
যোগাটি বলি তোমার যোগাটি বলি পুণ্য হবে কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে
एवं जनं निपतितं प्रभवारि कूपे एवं जनं निपतितं प्रभवारि कूपे काम विकाम अनुया प्रदत्तं प्रसंगात्
कामाभिकामवनुया प्रपतन् प्रसंगात्
धृत्वात्मसात् सुरसिना भगवान् गृहीता
कृत्वात्मसात् सुरसिना भगवन् गृहीतः
सोऽहं कथं विसृजेतव भृत्यसेवा
सोऽहं कथं नु विसृजे तव भृत्यसेवाम्
তুমি মারা চেষ্টা সাথে বুড়িয়া মায়া রাখে
চিরাসাতি বুলিয়া মায়ারা লাঠি
হয়াছি জন্ম জন্মান্তরে
আয়াছি জন্ম জন্মান্তরে
আজি ফোড়ে সুযোগা যদি হই যোগা যোগা
यदि होए योगा योगा
अरे भाई भाई
अबे पारी तू है मेरी बारी
तुम्हारा मिलने पाए अवश्य सुख पाए
मिलाने भाई अवर के सुख पाई
दो चारे झूरी
दो चरण बुरी दिला
कतवारे छुटा छुटी बने खाई लुटा छुटी
तावाने छुट्टा छुट्टी बने खाए लुट्टा फुट्टी
সেই দিন হবে হবে কৃষ্ণ for those who are in knowledge, this is in a tune that Srila Prabhupada sang in 26 Second Avenue. He was singing this tune. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Isn't it? Huh?
It was one of his favorites.
Yes. He would sing it and he would start slow and then at some point he would pick up fast, and stop. That's how he would do it. You can watch the videos if you weren't there. We welcome Nagapatni Mataji, Prabhupada disciple. So she was there in some places. Maybe not in 26 Second Avenue, but we were in Los Angeles. So let us proceed with the main part of our program here, which is to offer our homage to Srila Prabhupada. Nagapatni Prabhu, should we hear from you first? Yes? Okay, she's happy. Good. So let us hear Nagapatni Mataji's offering to Srila Prabhupada. Today is Vyasa Puja Day. On Vyasa Puja, it is the duty of all the disciples to offer their submission to the spiritual master, offering praise and prayers.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namni Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Visharini Nirvishvishna Sunyavadi Pastatya Desaravani Om Ajanatamandasya Janam Jana Salakaya Chakshuminitaneva Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Your divine grace, before I met you, my life was meaningless. Like a blind person driving or a deaf person singing, it was all a disgrace. The first time I heard your words, the sun began to rise in my dark heart. Life had meaning and purpose. From you, I did not ever want to part. The gift of Prasadam you gave sparked a taste of another reality, a place where birth and death were not to be, a place where we can meet eternity, engaging me, a fool and rascal, in the highest goal of serving the divine couple. This is completely incomprehensible. You give so much and ask so little. The few meager things I offer seem so worthless and brittle. My heart is full of inadequacies and offense. Please continue to guide me how to live under your divine grace. Better than gratitude is service to your cause. Let me release your gems of wisdom in a world full of pain. Your great pleasure will be the gain. Service to you is my everything. The meaning, the feeling, the reasons of my existence. Give me the strength until my last breath to follow faithfully in your footsteps. For going to the west, may your glories be sung wherever songs are composed and music is rung. I bow continuously at your lotus feet. No other, even the Lord himself, could do this feat. Anyone in your path, knowing or unknowingly, has a chance to give up material existence, to give up the emptiness of impersonal conception and revive their true consciousness of love and dedication. I fall to your feet over and over. I'll rise and fall again and again. There's nothing like them anywhere. Through the north, south, east, and west, they are simply always and only the best. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Hare Bol. What a beautiful writing, beautiful offering from the heart of Nagapatni Prabhu. And many of us here, young devotees, and you can count the number of years you have been in Krishna consciousness. That is, you also counts. How many years?
But this is 53,
Oh,
54, 54 years now.
54 years in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So when she says that, you know, that she has dedicated her life, it is not an empty, it's not an empty statement. And whereas many devotees chose to live a comfortable life, in the sense that they may not be directly engaged in active service, they stay at home and they do different things. Nagatadni has been amongst those who are on the front line, always preaching, always serving, doing anything that is required, from puja service to cleaning to doing anything. And she is also teaching. She's one of our teachers. So we offer our really humble pranam and respect to those disciples of Srila Prabhupada, by whose mercy we are praising today Srila Prabhupada. Naturally, he is the root of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. But were it not for his disciples, his efforts would have gone in vain. Because his disciples took up his mission. We are here today. They took up the mission. And Prabhupada was not with them for very, very long, about 11 years. Prabhupada was teaching and preaching, and this is quite amazing that having had, that's why it says Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Samashastra Koi, that all the scriptures say that just a moment of association with a pure devotee brings sarva siddhi hoy. It brings perfection. So we are actually here by the mercy of Prabhupada and his disciples, who took up his words very seriously and continued. Imagine if you have been in ISKCON only for 10 years, and suddenly all the leaders are gone and everything is on your head. How to proceed further, right? So there might have been many misunderstandings. There might have been many falls actually amongst the soldiers of the army of Prabhupada, but many have survived, and by their hard work, by their faith, by their strength, their faith in Srila Prabhupada, their determination to serve him, we are here today in a society which is like well constructed and spread all over the world, much bigger than what Prabhupada left us when he departed, and has expanded exponentially through Srila Prabhupada disciples. So let us continue. Let us see who will be the brave second person to give their offering. Any volunteer? Anyone would like to speak? I don't. Yes. Oh, Sudhir. I like volunteers. Wonderful.
I have some service, Mataji, so I have to go. That's the reason for me to also volunteer.
We remember your offering last year was very good.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at the dust of your lotus feet. As I initially contemplated on my offering today, I wasn't very clear on what to write or express. However, after further contemplation, I felt like thanking you or expressing gratitude on the topic of mercy that you have shown upon me. Recently, during Rupotsava, Her Grace Prashanta Mataji presented some verses spoken or composed by Rupa Goswami, displaying his humility. In one of the verses, Rupa Goswami says something to the effect that he is not born in highly learned family, and few other points. As I put some thought into these shortcomings which he expressed, there were no shortcomings or deficiencies for him, and I felt like he was very humble, and most importantly, speaking of common people like me with all those deficiencies or shortcomings. Recently, I heard in a lecture that in Kali Yuga, the practitioners of bhakti process are shown mercy, or in other words, we are mercy cases. It is foolish to not recognize this and just think that one can advance by his own endeavor, capacity, skill, or talent. In one of the principles of freedom class by His Holiness Bhakti Dhir Damodar Maharaj, he mentioned that being a Shudra is no ordinary thing, and he went on to describe some good qualities of Shudras. After finishing, he asked the class whether we can claim ourselves as Shudras, and the answer from the class was no. So, what individual qualification do I have to claim myself eligible for getting bhakti? No individual qualification. It is only your mercy. It is only your mercy. Being allured by the material energy and possessing all the shortcomings that Bhagavatam describes of the people of the age of Kali, like short memory, laziness, dullness, short attention span, and many others, what qualification do I have to claim myself eligible for bhakti? No qualification. Before you coming to America, the standard for chanting names, holy names, was minimum 32 rounds or more. But it is because of your compassion, mercy, that you were lenient in reducing it to 16, knowing the deficiencies of the people like me. And in doing this, you made the process further easier and simpler. Thank you for your mercy. In multiple lectures, I heard the speakers mention that you at multiple times told that if one strictly follows the four regulative principles and strictly chants minimum 16 rounds consistently, in this very lifetime you will take them back home, back to Godhead. You mentioned that you have backdoor access to get these sincere souls to Krishna. If not for your kind nature, how difficult would it have been to execute devotional service and having the hope of going back home, back to Godhead? It is only by your mercy, and thank you for your mercy. In traveling to multiple places, somehow I had to not worry about place to live or get prasadam or other things related to Krishna consciousness. These people helping me are not connected to me by blood relationship. In fact, I realized that if I were to not practice Krishna consciousness and travel to these same places, I would be more anxious on how to meet these basic needs, and I would have ended up working harder. But it is only by your mercy that these needs are easily taken care of by the loving spiritual family you created. Thank you for your mercy. Recently, during Balram Jayanti, I heard the speaker mention that if one has any problem, one could come in front of Lord Balram and express it, and there isn't any problem that he cannot solve. As Lord Balram is principal head of Guru Tattva, I sincerely desire to cultivate this habit of submitting my spiritual life progress report to Lord Balram's representatives like the Gurus on an annual basis. Please bless me with the strength to implement this and to always be in ISKCON in the association of devotees and serve them favorably. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhakta Sudhir. Yes, we should be humble. This is very nice offering, realizing that we depend on mercy. This thing about the Shudras, Kala was Shudra Sambhava. In the stage of Kali, everyone is potentially born a Shudra. I was hearing a class by Srila Prabhupada on the Bhagavad Gita, and he was saying that actually in the stage of Kali, people are not Shudras. They are much lower than this. They are not following anything. They are mlechas, people who don't follow anything. But Prabhupada said that because a Vaishnava is considered, naturally a human being, and human being means one who follows Varnashram, the system, the social system of the law. So we consider the Vaishnavas to be minimum Shudra. But this is like a, what do you say, a concession to you. That we actually consider that they are Shudras, but actually they are less. They're less than Shudras. We are less than Shudras. Of course, by the chanting of Hare Krishna, the devotees gradually elevate themselves. They burn the lower qualities and elevate themselves. Prabhupada created brahmanas. But we shall never become proud, because whatever we are is like we start from very low, and whatever elevation is there is only due to the mercy of the Guru and the holy name. And we should never forget this. Anyone who forgets this will fall. Okay, someone else? Yes, please. Yes, Makandeya Rishi. Also having service? Wow.
Namo Vishwadaya Krishna Prestaya Uttale Shrimad Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namene Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Parashalina Nirvisheya Shripati Paschatya Deshatani. Dear Srila Prabhupada, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Whenever I give my obeisances unto your lotus feet, I always ask you, what would it have been if you didn't follow the order of your spiritual master to come to the West and preach the message of Krishna consciousness? You came out of your causeless mercy to show us the way, how to go back home, back to Godhead. You explained all the Shastras and told us what we need to do to go back home, back to Godhead. You want everyone to become Krishna conscious so they will not continue to suffer and instead make the way to go back home, back to Godhead. You gave us all the directions on how to execute our Krishna consciousness so we can go back home, back to Godhead. You did everything in your power to leave the legacy of Lord Chaitanya so that the now holy name will be chanted in every town and village. Now it is up to us to continue the mission of bringing more people to chant the holy name. Thank you, O dear Srila Prabhupada, for your kindness. May all of us follow your example and work together so that your work will not go in vain. You are the savior of the whole world, and I have faith that you will open the back door for me if I do my part. Jaya Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Makandeya Rishi Prabhu. We are hoping for the back door. I have the key to the back door. It's when he was telling the devotees, if you chant your rounds every day, for good, go back to God, and everybody started looking down. Because not so easy to spend one's whole life chanting 16 rounds and praying for the great principles. So Prabhupada said, okay, 75% or something, 80%, then 80%, and they went like, they were still not convinced. 80%. So Prabhupada was bringing the scale down, and finally he said, okay, hold on to my dhoti. I've got the key to the back door. And we have seen this, I heard stories, I don't remember what was the name of a disciple of Srila Prabhupada who had left the movement. And he was living with a lady, non-devotee lady. And then it came the time for him to pass away. Maybe you remember him?
Oh, I know this story, yeah.
Yeah. And then the time came to leave his body, and he was on his deathbed, and attending him was only this wife of him who was not a devotee, you know. And before leaving, and this lady later on came to the devotees to tell the story.
Because they tried to reach out to him to help him, but he rejected.
He rejected.
Rejected.
Yes. So at the time of leaving his body, his eyes opened wide, and he said, Prabhupada, you have come. And he left. And this is someone who had served Prabhupada. He had served Prabhupada. Prabhupada didn't let him down. He came to get him at the very end of his life, even though he had given up the process of Krishna consciousness. So that is, we cannot imagine how merciful he was to do what he has done. To invent so many ways, Prabhupada said, invent so many ways to entice all the conditioned souls to come to Krishna. Offered such a variety of services that everybody, no matter what their qualities may be, can engage themselves in doing something for Krishna. And Prabhupada was ready to accept any service. In 26 Second Avenue, there is the story of this man who brought a gift to Prabhupada. You know what the gift was? Toilet paper. He brought a gift, toilet paper, you know. And toilet paper, as the word indicates, it can be used, of course, for any purpose, but usually it is used in the bathroom. And you know, in the Brahminical culture, it is not used at all. So it is a useless thing. It's a completely useless thing. And that person came, and he was like a drug addict, a half-away person. He came and gave this gift to Srila Prabhupada. Took. Whereas the smart-ass would have said, you know, get out of here. And Prabhupada accepted. All right, let us hear from someone else. Yes? Sorry, no. Sorry, I'm having divergence. Sarvakya Kuranga. Yes, go ahead. Those who are at the back, please come in the front.
I have blessed. This world is really blessed because of your appearance. If we have not appeared in this world, the face of the world would be completely different. Because of you, all those who fled away from India are still perfectly situated in our culture, and that too in supreme consciousness, spreading the glories of our Krishna consciousness in every nook and corner. Because of you, even all the educated class of India are taken to Krishna consciousness, and our real treasure is in that. You received the whole world with Krishna consciousness. You revived the whole world with Krishna consciousness by expertly establishing perfect system to engage any kind of person with whatever nature. It is only because of you, everyone in your movement is fully empowered to do wonders. Just by seeing the greatness of your disciples, one can estimate how great you are, even though we physically didn't see you. Your lectures are so powerful that whoever listens with attentive mind will give up all his attachments to this material world and fully dedicate themselves to serve this Krishna conscious movement. Whatever dedication and determination I have is because of listening to your lectures. And also your biography is so inspiring to everyone, and people just come to your lotus feet listening to this. I just want to pray that you have delivered infinite number of fallen souls. I just pray at your lotus feet that I can also become an instrument of yours in reviving the whole world with Krishna consciousness.
There was somebody here. Yes, Lakshmi.
Hare Krishna. This is my first ever notification, so kindly excuse me if I'm off the track. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presh Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Paschatya Desha Tarini. My humble obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, all the acharyas, gurus, and all the devotees present here. I am the most fallen soul and have the least qualification to say anything about Srila Prabhupada. Yet I take this opportunity to speak my heart's outpourings. I came in contact with ISKCON through my late uncle, Shri V. Rama Rao, in the year 1988 at the age of 20. But later, due to my utter misfortune, I lost contact with my uncle and ISKCON from 1992 and got immersed in my job and married life. With great mercy of Sri Radha Gopinath and Srila Prabhupada, I am back into the divine family of ISKCON with my husband and 2 daughters. The Kirtans and Mahamantra had been with me throughout, and I would sing them now and then subconsciously. Association is the most important factor. I never had devotees association, and so I lagged behind in true bhakti. Of course, this may seem as an excuse, but this is the fact. If not for the mercy of Radha Gopinathji and Srila Prabhupada, I would not be here in Vrindavan and VIHE talking to elevated souls. When I started knowing about Srila Prabhupada from books, lectures, videos, Shiksha Gurus, devotees, and the most important source being social media, I just wondered how an elderly man of about 70 years could toil so much. At this age, we start treating them as old and don't expect work, leave alone hard work from them. There have been many great gurus, and there are now 2, but though I respect them all, I could admire and think very high of Srila Prabhupada only. When you are a product of the system and supported, it is an easy journey. But when you are lacking from all sides, including advancing old age, unsupportive family, unsupportive god brothers, unsupportive government, lack of finances, and no living guru to hold your hand and guide, how challenging it is. And yet, to stick to your guru's words and carry his orders, Srila Prabhupada would stay hungry, work throughout the day, literally beg people to understand the cause and urgency of Krishna conscious movement and Lord Chaitanya's message. One man doing the translation, writing, editing, going to the press to print, going to publishing house to proofread, and also marketing. Surely he was superhuman and a Karana Purush, that is, born for a purpose. Neglecting his health, living on bare necessities, not caring the weather conditions, distributing pamphlets, back to Godhead magazine, writing letter to government heads, heads of institutions, doing his own presentation. He had no secretary or PRO. Doing his own cooking, washing, oh my God, all this can't be expected from an ordinary human. He was dealing with books of supreme nature and content. Unless he was a super soul and blessed by Sri Krishna himself, how could he do all this? He was sent to uplift fallen souls like me. Right from teaching his disciples to cook, to read, chant Harinam, follow Vaishnava culture, rehabilitating the hippies, facing the atheists, their questions, the reporters, conducting the initiations of devotees, even getting them married. He was the officiating Purohit too. Conducting question and answer sessions, preaching, giving lectures on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the list goes on. He burned himself like a candle, not wasting a single moment of his life, not for his own self-interest, but to free us all from the bondages of this material world. How I wish I was there to serve him when his health was failing. I love him and adore him as a grandfather. I pray and beg him to keep me, to progress on the path shown by him. I implore him to bless me with required intelligence and understanding to gain the Shastric knowledge and use the same for my spiritual growth, and to also utilize me and all my resources in furthering his Krishna consciousness movement. May his efforts and sacrifices bring great results in the form of ever-increasing Krishna conscious devotees and devotion. I remain his humble servant. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear Lakshmi. Well, a very good first attempt at glorifying Srila Prabhupada. Very, very well said. Very beautiful observations. I want to comment that when I came to India, when I shifted to India as a devotee in 1987, by 1988, 89, I was given the service of printing a magazine. I was printing the Padayatra newsletter, and I knew nothing about publishing at all. So I had to just somehow find my way. And one thing is that so I would collect the text, the photos and all on Padayatra, then I would go to Delhi for the publishing. And I knew nothing, I was just given the address of a printer. So I went to a printer, and India was very different from what it is now. And I actually got to work with the same type of printing machines that Prabhupada was working with when he was publishing his Back to Godhead and his books. And I remembered him so much at that time. And believe it or not, the way it was working is I would bring the manuscripts, which was either handwritten or somewhat typed. I had a typewriter, so I would type it. Then I would bring it to the printers, and there were scribes there. And the way they were doing the text is they would sit like that, and they had boxes in front of them with sticks, little sticks big like a match. They had little sticks, metal sticks like a match, and on the top of each one was a letter, like A, B, C, D. So they had one box of A's, one box of B's, one box of C's, and they had a format in front of them which was the size of the page. And they were so expert, they would look at the text and they would just pick the sticks. They would pick the sticks and line them up like that, and second line, third line, fourth line, they would just tick, 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 like this. They would pick the sticks and they would put them. And they would actually, like this, compose the text with these sticks. And then there was a wooden frame around it, and then they would tie it with a cloth, and then it would go into a machine that would put the ink on it, and the thing would go flop on the page, and then I would get the proof. I would get the page. And I remember every time I came out, I would spend several hours there because it was a long process. And when I would come out of it, I would be black from toe to head because I would proofread, and everywhere was full of ink, and the ink was like fresh. And I remember Prabhupada so much that this is how he published, in these conditions. And it would take time, and if there was an error, imagine if there's an error, you have to undo the whole thing and do it again. So they didn't like my proofreading. And I understood why old publications are full of typos, because, every time you want to correct something, you have to undo your work. So Prabhupada worked in these the technology in India. His departure was not at all what we know today. There were no cars, there were no so many things, not even pens. They used to have kalam, which is a pencil, and there were so many things were not there. No fridge, nothing. And so Prabhupada somehow managed to print the first volume of Srimad Bhagavatam in these conditions. Okay, let us hear from someone else. Anyone else with their offering? Yes? Please go ahead. Try to change the orientation of the mic.
Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vivishesha Sunyavadi Pasachya Desatharine Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Shinto Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Dear Srila Prabhupada, recalling how you first came across my life, I found your small books from a library in Australia. I was a traveling seeker, and it was the book Science of Self-Realization that convinced me. When I finished reading the last page, I cried for two reasons. I cried because I finally found the truth, and I cried because I didn't want to surrender and give up my old life. Eventually, I happily surrendered again because of your book. Prabhupada, when I was reading your book, I really felt as if you knew me. You already knew what my questions and doubts are and cleared them all. You had to go into the contaminated mind of someone like me to write in such a way. I was into, I'm gonna skip that. I accepted Krishna only because you said so. And writing wasn't only thing you did. The more I practice in ISKCON, the more I see your presence in every nook and corner. I complained that there was no one help me serve prasad, and you would cook the full feast, serve everyone, and even clean after all by yourself. I complained how difficult it is to train new people, and you taught your disciples from the scratch by all by yourself. You even taught your lady disciples how to put on sari. I complain about listening people's problems, and you are busy writing mails, solving others' problems from all over the world. Prabhupada, my fruitive mentality always seek for some award for whatever little service I have done. And all you want from us, for all the effort you put in, is to be Krishna conscious and help others to become Krishna conscious. Dear Prabhupada, not only you gave us Krishna, but also you gave us Guru, friends, family, and community. While you choose to be completely alone in a place where nobody knows you to save us, you created a whole society for us, and you even took on the headache to maintain it. Dear Prabhupada, I am forever indebted to you. Therefore, today, I pray that may your desire become my desire. I pray that my petty, selfish desires doesn't come in the way of serving you. Then my life will be a success. Your servant, Julan Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna. For those who do not know Julan, she is from Korea, of all places. Yes? Anyone else? Yes. Padam Dari, Prabhu.
Like Mataji, I am also first time.
Encouragement. We are very happy to offer this opportunity for devotees to speak their hearts. Yes.
Gurve Gaura Chandraya Radhika Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadpataya Namo Namaha Om Makyanti Marandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine My dear Sri Prabhupada, all glories to you, divine grace. Please accept my humble obeisances. I feel very fortunate and privileged to present my experience here, and I'll be telling you entirely the realization which I had, and the Prabhupada's contribution in that. I started my spiritual journey in 2000 from Allahabad, making a life member. The ISKCON people, they pestered me and made me life member. And that's how the journey started. In Allahabad, again, that's a very place where Prabhupada took the initiation. So I think that also has made some effect on me. So, see, if you see in India, there are 33 crores Devi Devtas. That is Koti. There are 33 crores of Devi Devtas in India. People are worshipping. So, Prabhupada has shortlisted Lord Krishna from that. So it is so convenient for us to worship. He has made Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaran Karana. So see, it is so easy for us that we have to focus only on Lord Krishna. No 33. And like you must have seen people on Monday, Shiva. Tuesday, Hanumanji. Wednesday, Ganeshji. Thursday, somebody like then Friday, Durgaji. Saturday, again some Shani Maharaj. So, see, practically it is so easy for us now that we have to just focus on Lord Krishna. And then he has actually made me from religious to spiritual. We have earlier we were thinking that charity is a big thing, making donation, contributions, and like that. Only with the Prabhupada's teaching, we came to know that the biggest charity is to take out the people from the death and this cycle of birth and death, to give them the Krishna consciousness. So I feel so rich, so wealthy that I can give there is so much to give to the people. So this is another thing. And see, the Indian concept of Vasudevam Kutumbam, Vasudev. See, this is actually the Krishna consciousness is the thing which will make the Vasudeva Kutumbam, because here we are not classifying the people on the basis of caste, creed, country, this, that, or only Krishna consciousness. So this is a great contribution. So in all cases, we see that Prabhupada has nurtured the devotional life and made from religious to spiritual. I think that's it. And Prabhupada said, it is so easy that you will miss it. It is the Krishna consciousness is so easy that you will miss it. See, just chanting and chanting for religious principles and all that, that's all. So people outside don't believe that chanting only can take us for such a will make us so what you call so this is he said that it is so easy that you will miss it. So it is true actually. So I think that's all at the moment. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. From religious to spiritual, this is a wonderful realization, yeah. And Prabhupada actually established a spiritual movement. We are practicing Bhakti Yoga. So this is a spiritual path, and it's true that in India and all around the world, people are religious. They are religious, but it is something to be spiritual. to have as a goal to actually return back home, back to Godhead. Yes, I understand clearly that we do not belong to this world. We are different from the gross body, we are different from the subtle body. This very deep knowledge Prabhupada has given us and made us into spirit souls.
One thing I just wanted to add, from last 4 years, I have not seen the newspaper and seen TV.
Prabhupada Krupa. Anyone else? Yes, Bhakti Vida.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshadari Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. I am not, in front of all the devotees, I don't know what I will say about Shri Prabhupada, because today I was thinking what I will speak, and then I was thinking, what can I speak about Srila Prabhupada? But today I really want to thank Srila Prabhupada because whatever we are here, we are in ISKCON, or we know anything about the spiritual world is only because of Srila Prabhupada. I want to share my, I was a demon. I was a hardcore non-vegetarian, and Prabhupada's book is so powerful. I just read, no one preached me that we shouldn't eat non-veg or this and that. Devotee just said to me that you read Prabhupada's book. So I got the book. It was my second book, that was Science of Self-Realization. And while reading that book, I left my non-veg. And everyone was very shocked in my family that how can this happen to this girl. But everyone was thinking that this is for a really short time, or it is something sentimental coming. But it's only because of Srila Prabhupada that I can maintain it till now. Otherwise, there was no hope in my life or in my association over there. And then Srila Prabhupada, I was so much, because there was no one devotee in my family and I was all alone. I got a very little association from temple. So then Srila Prabhupada, he came to my dream, and then he told me that he just spoke me the words from Sri Bhagavad Gita. I didn't know what Bhagavad Gita is. I have not read Bhagavad Gita in my life. But then Srila Prabhupada told me that whatever beautiful thing you are seeing in this world, it's Krishna. And then I read Bhagavad Gita, and then I became confirmed that yes, I have to join ISKCON and I have to give my full life to ISKCON. There was so many challenges I faced because no one was supporting me in my life. And then there is one very hardcore realization of mine today. I was meditating on this thing, and I came to a point that what Prabhupada gave us, what for me is association. Why association? Because Srila Prabhupada has, if there wouldn't be devotee, then what we would have done for Srila Prabhupada? How we can serve Srila Prabhupada without devotees? Even there are so many shortcomings in us, but then at one point I came to a realization that Srila Prabhupada is training us to go home back to Godhead, because there also we will be in association of devotees, forgetting all the discrimination, all the bad and good. So whenever I do any service, I make garland, I do anything, I think, oh, okay, this is what Srila Prabhupada is training us, that we will do it there. So this is our training process. We are training here, and we are training here in association of devotee. Without association of devotee, I feel like I heard it in a lecture from very senior devotee that what is hell for a devotee? And then it was like the hell for a devotee is when there is no association. Because if there is no association, what we can do for Srila Prabhupada? Because Srila Prabhupada is always in association of devotee. He made this whole Krishna conscious movement so that we can associate with one another. There was one very sweet realization which I want to share. I have heard it and I wanted to share. It's like there was a boat. This is a practical thing. There was a boat and the boat was going from Mayapur to from Navadip to Mayapur, like the Ganga Nadi we cross. And then the Mataji, she is a very senior devotee, she was sharing this pastime too in her lecture, and she was telling that when I didn't want to sit in that boat because everyone was there in this boat, and I was feeling like, oh, no, I can't sit in this boat. And she was about to go to another shore to buy some saris for her, and Mataji and Mataji's husband both were there. So then what Prabhu did, Mataji's husband, he made a small place for Mataji and he told her, you sit here, you just sit here. And then Mataji sat, and then they crossed the shore, and then her husband told her, which is very much related to like our journey, is Prabhu told her that, you see, we are in this boat of Srila Prabhupada, where there are so many type of devotees, so many type of people in this boat. But if you find a tiny place of yourself in the boat and fix yourself in this boat, and then Srila Prabhupada will take you back home, back to Godhead. So just don't leave the boat, that there are so many people and got afraid and secure yourself in the home. I will do everything in the home. This is not the way, because we are in a boat. So in a boat there will be so many devotees, so many type of association, and that will only help us to go home back to Godhead. And at last I just want to say that it's only because of Srila Prabhupada and my Guru Maharaj I got Vrindavan and I got VIHE. I have never ever thought that I will engage in the service of Radha Govinda in such an intimate way. I can't imagine it. I can never imagine it. So at last I just want to thank Srila Prabhupada, and I just want to pray him that one day I can realize what you have done for me. I don't think so till now I had realized. The day when I realize, then I can serve you better. Thank you so much, Prabhupada.
So many realizations in the heart of the devotees. It's very interesting. And she was saying how whatever we do, we are being trained for what we will be doing in the spiritual world.
I want to add, I just it's like one thing which I really want to thank Srila Prabhupada is that he didn't discriminate between Matajis and Prabhujis. Today only I was hearing this lecture and Prabhupada was telling, how can I reject them? Because Prabhupada got so much criticism because he was keeping all the Matajis and Prabhuji in the same building, but Prabhupada faced all these things only because he didn't want to reject a soul. So it's so heart-touching for me that being an Indian, it's really very difficult to get all this deity worship and doing all this paraphernalia. They never allow us to enter the temple courtyard, like only Brahmanas can enter. But Srila Prabhupada, really he is training us for Goloka. That's why it's like you shouldn't be like the material thing doesn't matter for Srila Prabhupada, only your desire to serve is matter. And really I can feel in my life that once you desire to Srila Prabhupada, I want to serve you. There are so many opportunities to serve that one time you will say, Prabhupada, this is my hardcore realization in ISKCON. There are so many services. Only you go and tell Srila Prabhupada, I want to serve you. He will give you hundreds and hundreds of service, and then now it's up on you how you will follow it. Thanks so much, Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so how we are being trained for the spiritual world. Yesterday we were celebrating Janmashtami. And I was given the service to prepare the asana for Radha Govinda to sit in the evening. We brought Radha Govinda in the temple room, they were here, and I was given the service to decorate the asana. So in the afternoon I was fixing the cloth on the asana, and selecting the cloth and putting the flowers, and later on, I was reflecting that this is what we do in the spiritual world. Always arranging for the sitting places of Radha and Govinda. You prepare beds, you prepare sitting places, you prepare for the meeting of Radha and Krishna, you prepare. So this is, we are being trained to what we are doing actually in ISKCON is not material at all. It is completely transcendental. We spend our time painting the deity, decorating the deity, and singing, chanting. There is one of our staff, I don't know whether he's here right now, he said that I'm being maintained in ISKCON to do the things that I always wanted to do, which are not work at all. It is compulsory to come to the morning program. It is compulsory to attend the kirtan. It is compulsory to serve on the festivals. How fortunate. And yes, how Srila Prabhupada was so merciful, Bhaktivinoda is saying. And you can see also that how this Krishna consciousness is so amazing that it will awaken the soul no matter what the external conditioning is. So you have a sweet little girl like Bhaktivinoda. She was in Eastern India living with her parents in a non-vegetarian family, and just like a little girl. And suddenly she got Prabhupada's mercy and finished. Suddenly she gave up meat eating, and a few years later, here she is in Vrindavan, completely away from her family, living in Vrindavan, serving Radha and Krishna. It's amazing how Krishna consciousness is transforming the heart of all people, no matter how they live. We have Julan from Korea, such a country so far away from India, and with such a different culture, but somehow we have Mana Shiksha come from Kenya. That's another direction. Africa, such a different culture, such a different place, but all dressed the same, all speaking the same philosophy, the same language, all devotees of Krishna. So this is very, very amazing. Okay, who is next? Yes? Yes, yes, don't be shy. Who would like? Yes? Pulasya Muni Prabhu. Okay, I don't know if the microphone will reach over there. May I have to come closer. This is Pulasya Muni Prabhu. He is also from somewhere. He's from Italy, the land of pasta and pizza.
Amongst other things.
Amongst other things.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachamine Nirvishera Sunyavadi Paschachavati Sutanane. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept humble obeisances, all glories to your wonderful and unique personality. It is quite a difficult task to glorify your unique and transcendental personality without falling into the trap of being sentimental or being cliched. Yet, the day of your appearance has absolute significance, and therefore the need to glorify you without small realizations becomes essential no matter what. On your appearance day, several questions spring to mind. What if we never had the opportunity or good fortune to approach either you directly or through your devotees who are preaching a message of hope and deliverance? Compared to you and your disciples, what have we done in comparison? Are we even worthy of devotees? Have we fully joined ISKCON yet? As members of ISKCON, have we represented you in a befitting manner, and have we managed somehow to start repaying our debt to you for having rescued us from an uncertain future? Most importantly, have we joined ISKCON with the right motivation? Times have changed. The era when you arrived in the West was in the midst of a cultural revolution, where the young generation was looking for an alternative to what was offered. Many of them heard the call and were ripe to receive the transcendental knowledge you brought from Sri Vrindavan in order to conduct a spiritual revolution that would transform people from bodily conscious to Krishna conscious. Nowadays, we live in an atmosphere of uncertainty and fear. Technology has established itself to the extent that many people now are no longer searching for something higher, but rather they are misusing such technology and media channels in order to advertise themselves and become a so-called media sensation. Unfortunately, a minority of our ISKCON members have taken the path of self-aggrandizement, which has no relation to what your expectations were, and neither to what constitutes spiritual knowledge. Is there hope for the future? How will each of us be able to play a part in the spreading of the transcendental message you brought to the West, when it seems that people are becoming more and more self-obsessed? Will the passage of time make your message either secondary or irrelevant? How will it be possible to present your message in a convincing and genuine, non-sensationalistic way? Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that you beautifully translated into the Nectar of Devotion briefly mentions that pure devotional service is rarely achieved. You reiterated this fact in the preface of the Bhagavad Gita last statement, saying that we hope, therefore, that people will derive the greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we have presented it here. And even if one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success. Srila Prabhupada, by all means, I'm not entertaining the illusion of becoming a pure devotee, or even being able to go back to Godhead in this lifetime. Quite a lofty ideal. My only hope is, no matter where I go, I will always be able to connect to you in a meaningful and active way as part of Sri Chaitanya Sankirtan movement. I pray that at least my connection with you in this lifetime has not been in vain. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for this expression. Yes? Who is next? Yes, Bhakti Nirmali.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Devtarine. My dear Prabhupada, I am deeply grateful for the wonderful opportunity to make this offering to you today. This is my first time doing so, and I humbly ask you for forgiveness for any mistake I may commit. Through the mercy of Gauranichai at Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir in Australia, I took my initial step towards Krishna consciousness. I was never fond of reading, but during my stay in Melbourne, my friend Priyanka gave me the Prabhupada Lilamrita book and said, "Nirmali, you should read this." It was the first ISKCON book I received, and at that time, I was expecting my son Shubhad. I started reading and couldn't stop. I became deeply attached to Srila Prabhupada. This is how Prabhupada entered my life. Oh Prabhupada, I sincerely thank you for showering your mercy upon this insignificant fallen soul. I beg for forgiveness for the mistake I commit every day, every minute. I have a small teacher of Srila Prabhupada at home who came with us from Australia. In moments of struggle and loneliness on my spiritual journey, I open my heart to him and he provides quick solution. I must confess that I'm always somewhat lost. I didn't know what to do or even how to pray. As a child, my mother always urged me to pray to God for good grades and other desires. But when I stood before God, I felt sorry for him, imagining how busy he must be fulfilling everyone's wishes. I always prayed, please protect everyone, let all be happy. During my Bhakti Shastri studies at VIHE, the topic of praying for spiritual well-being arose again. Yet, I still didn't know how to pray. When I had to write my first Bhakti Shastri exam, I experienced a panic attack. I had never studied so intensively before. I was nervous and I ran to Prabhupada crying out for help. It was the first time I prayed. I said, "Oh Prabhupada, please give me the gift of remembrance. Help me recall what I have studied. If you want me to pass, grant me the memory power." And there a miracle occurred. From that day on, by your mercy, I learned to pray with a sincere heart. I prayed and studied very hard for my Bhakti Shastri, which inspired Shubhan and Varshana to join the Bhakti Sadachar course at VIHE. Through the mercy of Prashanta Mataji, they were admitted, and I witnessed their dedicated effort in their studies. It was truly remarkable. Prabhupada, you provided me with the fundamental Shastric education through VIHE and connected me to this wonderful VIHE family under the guidance of Mother Prashanta. Thank you Prabhupada, thank you so much. I find great joy in serving here. It is all by your mercy. Public speaking, especially in front of Vaishnavas, makes me quite nervous. I often find myself tongue-tied before devotees. This is my first time speaking. In fact, I planned not to speak and arrive late. However, Balaji Priya called me and truthfully, she scared me a bit. She said, "This is a golden chance for you to open your heart to Prabhupada. What if you didn't get this opportunity next year? What guarantee do you have that you'll even wake up tomorrow?" That was enough for me. I decided, please, that's enough. I'm coming to my offering. Thank you so much, Prabhupada, for granting me such a true circle of friends. On this most auspicious day, I wholeheartedly surrender to your lotus feet and beg you to protect me from all my anarthas. Oh Prabhupada, please guide me and send me a guru from whom I can seek shelter. I am eager to receive initiation and serve you and this mission under the guidance of a spiritual master.
Hari Hari. Anyone else needs a scare? All right. Let us hear one more. Now they say, Kirtan. Yes, who would like to speak? Radha Madhav Prabhu, please give the microphone.
First of all, I thank to our guest Santa Mataji. This is for me also first time. Although we have stayed many years in temple, but did not speak like that. So, first, I have not written anything, I'll just speak spontaneously. So, Srila Prabhupada, first I came in touch with you in 2010 through Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit, which I read completely in 2 months, all 7 parts. That time we were studying in college. Day and night we read. And I remember those days were very different. We were fired up, fire in the temple. We were getting up so early morning in winter. I used to walk for 7 kilometers every day to attend Mangal Aarti, to chant, go for Harinam, chant at one place and chant all the rounds. In front of Tulsi Maharani in circle, we had that law. We didn't have mobile. And then we go for Harinam, book distribution, hard work, and so personal relationship with devotees. But now 13 years have passed. And if I look at today, afternoon I was contemplating, sitting at Srila Prabhupada in temple, that I am completely changed. I am different. I have no more that enthusiasm, that fire of japa, of kirtan, of service, of mission. Those relationships were there. Somehow this Bhakti Shastri course has given me great revelation. I just thought to carry this book with me. The smallest book, Nectar of Instruction. This Srila Prabhupada, your book has 109 pages. And even before the first verse start, in preface, something you have written, which today I was contemplating for a long time, where I have to go, where I have to reach. You write in the first page, to understand the mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow in his footsteps, one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of Goswamis. So how far I am, what to speak of 6 Goswamis? I am not able to follow my authorities and your books. Even many times we don't read your books. We distribute so much, but not read. So, what aspect of 6 Goswamis am I following in my life? So however I will understand Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the second page, in the preface, you are writing, a follower of Krishna consciousness movement should become a perfect Goswami. So then I was looking back, I am not at all your follower. I am not at all disciple yet. Because I have not become Goswami. So as per the days going, as I am increasing my age, becoming senior, getting more managerial positions, I am actually going down. In fact, I am becoming Mayavadi. As I told, those days we had very good relationship with devotees, senior, junior, friends, everyone. But now I have much time to spend with my mobile. As soon as I get 5 minutes, 2 minutes, mobile. We don't have your books. I don't think about spreading your mission all over the world or following in the footsteps of 6 Goswamis. Next, you write in the same preface page, to achieve the higher success in life by becoming a Goswami and then to become a pure devotee of Lord. So just to become a Goswami is not the mission which you are giving us. You further want us to become a pure devotee. As just now Prabhuji from Italy, he told that It's very difficult in one life to become that. But you want us to become a Goswami and pure devotee, and then you will be pleased, because that's why you wrote all the books. So I am very, very far. It's just a one page of one small book. It is so much. What to speak of Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Jai Shri Radha Govinda Ki.
And the other literature, Srila Prabhupada. So much I have to go. So for me, today is not the day for eating and offering flowers and writing big, big things. But for me, today is the day of contemplation, meditation. What I was, for what I had joined ISKCON, and what I have become today, what I need to improve. So Srila Prabhupada, I would like to rejoin the movement, reinitiate myself today. And please give me the blessing, the courage, the spiritual strength, so that I can make all the sacrifices, whatever it takes to become a perfect servant, a slave of yours. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hari Hari Bol. The day of contemplation. That is very true. Yes. The opportunity is again open. Yes, Veera.